Hello, this is Nathan and Gary's video on section 5 in expense tracker app. And let me just show that I completed the module. Everything is done. No quizzes or anything like that this time around. But let's get to the main app. So here we have main. Not so much the same as other mains, except as you can see, it has a dark and light feature. This is the only thing that's really in main. Everything else is kind of in other files, but I guess the light and dark feature is supposed to be in main. So that's like what's here. And yeah, so it has a dark and light theme. We'll get to that later. But that's the first file that we got here. And let's go to expenses.dart. Now, there's this whole point of this app is that it's like an expense tracker. So you can have different, I guess you can say like expenses slash like little tidbits that you can track. And there's two mock ones here that are there. So you can always have Flutter Course and Cinema. And this is pretty much pretty much the file that controls the main area. So here we have the expense deleted and the undo. I'll kind of show what those do later. This one says no expenses found. Start adding some. This is when there's no. This checks if there is no expenses, and then it gives you that message, and if it finds it. And as you can see here with this remove expense, after expense is removed in this function, this widget. Oh, I hate that feature. It keeps popping up. There's a duration that you could put for a little message that pops up, and it says expenses deleted. This time around, I will not be going into much detail about this because, to be honest, a lot of these things are like kind of like the functions like snack bar action, snack bar, messenger. These are more like functions that are within Flutter itself, and it's hard to explain. It just pops up and it happens. On press is obviously when something is pressed, so you know about that one. I already went through that. Flutter expense tracker. And yeah. So that's the main app itself, or like the main, I guess, page of it. And these are different categories that you can have. Category icons. Title. This is what you like, how you put it in the expense. So you require the title, amount, the date, and the category, and this gives it a random ID. We use this to make sure we get a random ID on this expense. That way everyone has a true random ID. Otherwise, you have to set up manually or more random, or I guess set random in our own boundaries, and that'd be a lot more difficult. So we just use the Intel Dart, and that gives us a little easier way of giving us ID, so it could be easier to keep track of things. As you can see here, for string ID, date-time category, and we return the date. And this is pretty much our expense bucket. This is what like shows off the expenses themselves. And yeah, this is the expense category or the file. I have to go less into detail because it's way more files this time around. Way more things to look at. The new expense Dart. This is pretty much the little pop-up that happens that when you want to set up a new expense file or a new expense tab, a little thing, and this is where you do it. So present date fire, set state, pick date, submit expense date. A lot of these are void. You don't return anything. You're just setting things up. And then please make sure this is the throw method that in case you put in something that's invalid, I'll show that off a little bit later. Say you cannot put that. You have to say okay. And this is the title, enter amount, category. So this is gonna add your expense to the thing, or to the website itself. And the navigator /pop just means that it just goes away. That way, once you're done doing all this, it just goes away. A lot of little features in this website are just kind of just explained by one or two little widgets or functions. They're just here. You kind of can't explain it. You just kind of have to see it. So yeah, this is the dispose function. And if this wasn't here, then we would have an overload in the expenses, and it would not match with our current amount if we didn't dispose of them properly. So the super dispose just, oh my gosh, just means that like once we're done with with this of this expense, we want to get rid of it, we just get rid of it, and it just disposes everything, the title, the amount, everything. um yeah, this just shows off our the little the whatchamacallit, the parameters for the expenses. So the amount, the date, and the category, I believe. Yeah, I think categories, those are set, so you have to type it in. So you already got those. And that's a spacer, so it gives it more space. And then this is just, like I said, this is just when you have to make a new expense. And I believe this like expense underscore list is pretty much just like it's just a this is the list itself of the expenses. Not much here, to be honest, but it's still important as everything is. And and I go expense underscore item. And I believe this one just shows it off as a card. This is separate aside from like the actual website itself of the expenses. Let's see the way it's formatted. Expense amount to string as fixed to. And let me just show you the actual expenses of the website itself. So here we have our Flutter course and our Simina, and this is the bar that comes with it. And this is a dark mode I have equipped. I could change the light mode if I probably could, but I'm running on a website, so it's not the same as like using it on a phone. So you can swipe it and get rid of it, and now it goes away at the bar, and it gets added to, it's calculated in total, and gets added somewhere else. So we can add another expense. The plus sign is supposed to be here, but believe it or not, the debug like icon right here is just covering it. But believe me, it's there. This is how you add a new expense. So I'll just add expense bruh. Give it an amount of, I don't know, expensive, $80, and let's give it a date of yesterday, and we'll give it some work. So after we do that, you can put save expense. Oh, by the way, you have to show off the pop-up that says, "Are you sure you want to get rid of it?" Maybe I'm not too comfortable with bruh, and I want to get rid of it, so I swipe it, it's gone. But it pops up saying, "Hey, you can undo that." So I can press it real quick, do undo, and like maybe I do want bruh, so I can bring it back. So I want bruh back. As you can see, it adds up the total and it puts it where it was. So as you can see, it works, so it goes on the right side. And yeah, it just keeps just keeps track of your expenses, and you can add more, and you can get rid of them. You can undo it if you want, because it says right there, expense deleted. You can undo it. Then it catches that time, but yeah. So this is my. Oh, if you also forgot to do something, you can have like a invalid amount right here. Let's give it a good date, but it says invalid info. Make sure valid amount. The category is that. Let's make sure we give it a good amount. $8. Title's right, but let's give it no date. Actually, no, I don't think. Yeah, no date. So, save expense. There you go. So you have to make sure that everything is selected for it to go through. So make sure we don't get an error. Okay. And yeah, and that is my expense slash my Flutter expense tracker for Flutter. Not as detailed as it was before, but there's a lot to it. But it does very simple, so it's a very nice thing, and I learned a lot from this. So thank you for watching. Yeah.